Dead Space 2 takes place 3 years after the original game. And people are going to find out what took place in those 3 years when they boot up Dead Space 2. Isaac's goal in Dead Space 2 is that he's fighting to destroy a government plot to resurrect a marker. So that's kind of the mission that he takes on. But there's some other stuff going on with Isaac that people are going to discover as they play through the game. But one of the things with giving Isaac a voice was giving him the opportunity to kind of say what's on his mind. In the previous game, he was a silent protagonist. He kind of, was kind of taking directions from some other peoples. And in Dead Space 2, he's going to have a chance to actually speak his mind a bit, and the story is centered around Isaac. So giving him a voice gives him an opportunity to kind of elaborate on what's going on, what his emotions might be, and it plays really well into the story.
Just even from a development standpoint, what are some of the benefits and challenges of making a protagonist from a silent hero into, a full fleshed out character?
Well, there were certainly some benefits to him not saying anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have to record any VO. That was pretty good. But in terms of story and character development, without him being able to speak, we weren't really able to kind of give his perspective on something. So some number of people that played the first game thought it was weird that Isaac never said anything when he was dealing with some of these unsavory individuals that he ran into. And in Dead Space 2, we wanted to give him a chance to really talk about his experience, talk about his own personal journey. And from a development perspective, it was challenging in the sense that we had to write dialogue that made sense and didn't make him sound like some kind of corny action hero, because that's not what he is. But we actually had the ability to write some dialogue that brings you into kind of his mindset, so to speak.
There's so much shit in my head.
And something new that we saw today was the multiplayer. And Dead Space as a franchise doesn't seem exactly fit for multiplayer, but after seeing it today, it implemented really, really well. And how did you know early on that you wanted to do multiplayer in Dead Space 2?
Well, thanks a lot for saying the nice things about multiplayer. The team working on it has done a kick-ass job.
Yeah.
But in terms of when did we know we wanted to make multiplayer? Well, when we start out on any project, we're kind of in that pre-production phase, and that's where all the big ideas come out. Let's bring out all the crazy things. Let's make Isaac have 360-degree movement in zero-G. Done. Did that. And multiplayer was one of those things. A lot of people that played the game had said it would be cool if I could play it with my friends. And we weighed co-op, multiplayer, and we felt with multiplayer we could deliver a unique experience that you couldn't really do in a different game, and give people the opportunity, which is something I'm excited about, to be able to experience it with a friend. So, whether you're kind of the cooperative type of person that wants to just call up their buddy and play together, or you're more into the competitive aspect, I think our multiplayer allows for both of those types of people to have fun. It has been kind of fun trying to develop what it might be to look out through a necromorph's eyes or have those attacks and allow players to dig into that side of things, because, let's be honest, Isaac's rolling around just dismembering the poop out of these guys. Now you can play one of them and get back at the humans.
So the multiplayer in Dead Space will feature 5 different maps, which will all be objective-based, but each one of the maps will have its own unique objective and have its own unique look and feel. So each one of the maps that we will feature will be located within the sprawl, and you'll have these unique objectives that will vary the gameplay on a per-map basis.
What are some of the benefits of the 2 different classes in the game, the benefits and the weaknesses?
In terms of the humans and the necromorphs?
Yeah, both.
I think, the Sprawl security team, the humans are kind of your traditional shooter type, right? It's what Isaac's equipped with in the single-player campaign. So you have your weapons in your loadout, whatever weapons you want to choose from leveling up in the metagame, and that's kind of your typical human experience. On the necromorph side, we have 4 different playable necromorphs, so each one of them brings its own unique gameplay advantages and mechanics to the table, right? We have the Pack, which is your short-range melee character. We have the Lurker, which is the wall walker, who can get up in perches and hide on ceilings and all different types of areas. And he's your long-range firer. We have the Spitter, who is large, basically full-size necromorph. It's a female, and she has the ability to fire toxic spit at a long-range distance. And then we have the Puker, who is sort of the very powerful necromorph that can get in at short range and do a lot of damage.
We're working our butts off to make sure that Dead Space 2 lives up to their expectations, and we hope when January 25th, 2011 comes around on PS360 and personal computer, people get a chance to experience not only the single-player game, which we're hoping people are going to love, but also the chance to play with their friends in multiplayer.